Hey, and welcome to another broadcast of, what are we calling this? Digital Plantation Podcast. Digital Plantation Podcast. Welcome, everybody. I am so glad that you guys are here. I hope you guys have had a wonderful day. Today is September the 2nd. September the 2nd of 2024. August is gone, y'all. We gone. It's gone now. We in September right now. This is a wonderful month. This is a beautiful month because there's someone that I know very dearly that was born this month. But I'm just going to leave that to me. It's only 3 people that I know is me, myself, and I. Hey, good to have you guys here. Welcome. If you're brand new to the platform, so glad to have you guys here. And this is our podcast. This is a podcast that we've had going on for a good while. And I'm kind of stepped away from it from a little bit. And then we did our poll on the community page, and asked you what would be a good time if we decided to do this podcast, but do it in a way where we're recording the audio and doing the live, and doing the video at the same time. And then, from time to time, incorporate a live call-in, segment, what would be a good day? And the majority of you actually said that after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time would work best for you during the week. I was surprised. I thought you was going to say during the weekend, but here we are. So we're just trying it out. If it don't work out here, we'll move it on to somewhere else. But thank you so much for tuning in. And again, my name is Dwayne. And if you're brand new to the channel, I want to personally welcome you. And I'm so glad that you guys are here. Now, one of the changes that we're going to be making, along with a lot of other changes, is, the podcast that we've been doing, the live broadcast, like what you're watching right now. Man, listen, typically this joint goes 2 hours and then some sometimes. But I am aiming to do this an hour or less. Okay, that's what my aim is. That's what my goal is. And we're just going to try to pack it in as much as we can. But since this is the first time we've done this in a while, this first part here, I'm just kind of warming up the room a little bit. But I do want to, bring your attention to a couple of things here. Okay, so let me bring this up here on the screen. Oh, not that. Let's see. Where am I? That was my Threema thing there. Let's see this right here. There you go. So we have several podcasts. Okay, so it ain't just this one. We have, this one we got right now, which is Digital Plantation, which you're watching right now. And digital, I got to change that too. Well, I'll leave it. And what we cover on here is like the news, current events, that kind of thing, right? And we just try to pack it all in within an hour. If you listen to the podcast, by the way, all of these podcasts that I'm going to be going through and showing you, they can be found on anywhere pretty much where there's a podcast, where you can get a podcast. You can find us here. Okay, so just take note of the name and just do a search. You'll find us. Okay, so that's iTunes. That's all the other platforms. You'll find us. Okay, but I'll put the link in the description, for those a little bit later on so that you can easily find it. Okay, so Digital Plantation Podcast. This is where we cover the news and just kind of go over some things and, and just kind of make fun of it, just the world that we live in, because like I said, again, it's it is certainly a plantation, a digital plantation that we live in. So we got that one here. The other one is this one here, Tech Tribes. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. Tech Tribes is African Health and Historical Narratives. This one I actually enjoy doing. I haven't done this one in a while, but I will be adding some more over time. And what we're doing on that podcast, I got about 6 or 8 episodes in that one, where we're looking at ancient African technologies and ancient African solutions to health issues, right? And we're not talking about just like current things or whatever. We're going back in time. I'm talking about thousands of years. We're going back as far as we possibly can, and we're looking and we're bringing out a lot of this information that isn't really talked about much, because a lot of times when people think of Africa, they just think of just huts and, and just some of the basic things, unfortunately, the stereotypes that we see. But Africa, a lot of the technologies that we have today, even, when it comes to computers, networking, how computers network and all of that, a lot of that technology, actually, you'll find roots of that, traces of that in early or ancient African history. There's a reason why they'll say, go to history class. We have history class, and then we have prehistoric class. Well, guess where a lot of this knowledge or information about ancient African history falls under? Prehistory. So there's prehistory, and then there's history, right? And so that's where they put us. That's where they put a lot of, when it comes to Africa. But this is where we talk about this. This podcast is probably, I would say, on average, each episode is under 10 minutes. It's very short, and it's just to the point. So you can check that one out. Again, that one is called Tech Tribes. And let me get to this final one here, which is Who in the L Podcast. Now, Who in the L Podcast, this one here is what we do is we look at the historicity of the Bible. Okay. And so we're not necessarily, because, and I'll get to this later in the broadcast, man, I tell you, the amount, the type of content, comments that I was getting on that video, where we're talking about where we were presenting this young lady, her question that she had. She said, well, where was God during slavery? And when she's saying God, she's referring to the God that's mentioned in the Bible, the main one that's mentioned in the Bible. And man, the comments that we're getting on that one, as well as the comments we're getting on the one about the all the pastors that are stepping down simultaneously down in Texas, it's really something. It's a very good snapshot of where religion has brought a lot of our people. And so in this series, what we do is that we're looking at the historicity of the Bible. In other words, what I mean by that, in other words, we're looking at the people who actually wrote it. We're looking at archaeological findings. We're looking at we're taking the various stories and narratives that are in the Bible, that are mentioned in the Bible, and we're cross-referencing it with actual factual history. And, and so it's a very deep dive in this thing. And what we're discovering is that there are numbers of things that are mentioned in the Bible that really doesn't line up with actual factual history. Now, some of you who are hearing that, you're already mad. But see, your Bible does say, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established, right? Well, what we're doing is looking at the 2 or 3 witnesses. And that's what we're doing. And we're comparing it with actually what's mentioned in the Bible. If it lines up, great. If it don't, then that's not great. And we need to investigate even further. Do we acknowledge, are we trying to say that we have all the answers here? Certainly not. We don't. But what we want to do is we're at a stage right now where we have to start putting aside the lies, because they haven't really gotten us anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? And so this podcast here, this one is going to be quite lengthy. Each episode, I pared it down to like an hour a piece. And I know I got a lot more I got to upload, but that one too, you want to tune into that one. That's a really interesting one as well. So these are the 3 podcasts that we have going on. So it ain't just videos that we do here. We're doing much, much more than that. So I just want to bring your attention to that. So, okay. So in this broadcast today, in this podcast, we're going to be looking at what's going on in California, with this whole reparations thing and what these people did. And it's not a shocker. If you've been following this platform, I have made very clear on where I stand when it comes to reparations and all of that. And I'll go through that again and make it very short. But then we're going to get into what actually some of the things that has transpired so far out there. And so we're just going to be going through Twitter, because Twitter was on fire. It was on fire, man. It was on fire. Oh, my goodness. And over this. And so we're going to look at some of the details that's out there so far. OK. And then after that, we'll take a short break. And then after the break, we're going to get into some of my other news things that are taking place. Did y'all see the video clip of Roland Martin? He was on his Black Star Network, and he was showing a video clip of Kamala Harris. And let's just say he got a good name for it. It's called Unfiltered. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll show it to you exactly what I'm talking about. We're also going to take a trip down to Mississippi because there's some developments going down there that really ties into this whole narrative about the importance of delineation, when it comes to Black Americans versus everybody else. We're not, it's just what it is. And we're seeing the results of this literally play out every single day. And then I got one. It's again, it's just making a case for DEI and what it actually means, and man, how it pans out. It's really something. So anyway, so those are the main things we're going to talk about in this podcast. So again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. So glad that you guys are here. So let's go ahead. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of the stories here that we were just talking about here. So as you may be aware, that the state of California was actually leading the way when it comes to this whole reparations discussion. And they were pushing the needle, and the Congressional Black Caucus on the state level actually said, hey, listen, we're going to take this on, and we're going to push this thing because, they said all the right things as far as, because, it's about time for, Black Americans to get exactly what we deserve, because all these other groups have, pretty much they got their stuff, when we look at the Jews, when we look at, especially when we say, I don't want to say Mexicans, because it's not just Mexicans, it's pretty much all Central and Southern and South America that's been getting their piece. They come over here, and pretty much anybody else that crosses the our southern border, they've been getting theirs. But when it comes to Black Americans, on the other hand, well, that type of any legislation that's specific for Black Americans, well, we can't be too specific about that because it has to, it's got to include everybody else, and so, the state of California, their Congressional Black Caucus took the lead on this for their state to try to push the needle and try to make this happen. And so anyway, let me see where I want to begin with this. And let's see. So I'll tell you what, I'll start off so that y'all get to understand where I'm coming from when it comes to reparations. Now, do I agree that reparations is something that for sure is something that we as Black Americans deserve? It's something that it needs to be paid. Absolutely. Anybody that's listening, when we got some people who are opposed to reparations and want to say, well, your reparations was education. Your reparations was, it's all these other things, right? But when it comes to tangible things, when I say tangible things, I'm talking about land. I'm talking about, money. I'm talking about those kind of resources. I'm not talking about loans. Okay. No loans. I'm not talking about that because some people trying to slip in the loan argument. Nope. We ain't talking about loans. I'm talking about here's the money. That's it. In other words, how you treated the Jewish people and how you broke them off. That's what we're saying. You want a standard to follow? I'll make it easy for you. Look at how you broke them off. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Plus to boot land. Okay. Remember that whole 40 acres and a mule thing? Yeah. That kind of thing. That's still something that's pending. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. Even that farmer bill, that farmer settlement, what they call the Black Farmers Settlement, even that, you remember the video that we did recently? We looked at the details of that. It's funny how they always use Black people as the Trojan horse for these issues, because when you dig into it, it wasn't just Black farmers. It was actually farmers and other people of color. That's who it was going towards. And then we looked even further in that issue, and we discovered that the farmers, the Black farmers themselves, is the guy that's leading this charge. He was actually saying how, it's just so hard to find workers. Young people these days, they don't want to do the hard work of farmers. And he was kind of alluding to how young Black people don't want to do farmers work. Well, we dispelled that because how many A&T and A&M black colleges and universities do we have where you have young black people who are specializing in farming work? The issue isn't so much that young black people aren't interested in it, is that they don't want to pay them what they're worth. That's what it is. Because these young people who are coming out of these schools who are highly trained and highly skilled, yes, you got to understand that if you're going to start off in farmer work, you're going to start on the low end of the pole, right? And then over time you work up, right? I think that's pretty much understood. But here's the thing. You don't want to pay them for the skill set that they bring. I mean, these students are coming out understanding how to incorporate the latest technologies and all this other stuff. That's what they're coming in. So I understand that every job on the farm isn't necessarily someone in the lab and doing all the technicals and all that other stuff, but it's certainly part of it. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, you can also have people, working as field hands. My point is, in the video, we talked about how, no, that's not the case at all. And how many of these black farmers themselves are also turning to, a year ago? They were actually pushing for open borders. I'm talking about black farmers now. See, again, that's the part of the story that people don't want to hear, because you had a lot of people saying, yeah, finally, these black farmers, they're getting theirs. That's right. Justice is the wheels of justice. They are turning for black folks. But when we looked into what they were pushing for open borders. All right, because they wanted cheaper labor. That's what it came down to. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, so all that being said, let me adjust this light here real quick. Hold on. All right, so that's maybe a little bit better. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into what's going on down in over in the state of California. Let's see. I'll just start playing because I have a bunch of videos. So these are a bunch of video clips I'm going to play, and then we'll just comment on them. Okay, so I'll just do that. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this up here, and we'll just start with this one. Okay, so this is, her last name is Bonita. I think her last name is Bonita. And they're commenting on AB 1840. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this one, and let's see what this one is about. These are just updates.
Members, I rise in support of AB 1840, and I want to thank our colleague from Fresno for bringing this forward. I get the privilege of being in the Latino caucus as well as the Black caucus and many other caucuses. And I believe in a California that has invested in an opportunity economy. And I know that that opportunity economy exists because our undocumented community members are contributing dollar after dollar to that opportunity economy. And we're in a situation right now where we are so convinced in our minds, some of us, that in order to give to one, it means that I'm taking away from someone else. That is not the California that I live in. The California that I live in recognizes that our undocumented immigrants are the people who built California, are the people every single day who contribute to California's economy, and are the people who are striving to become a part of California in a way that is recognized as citizens. Our immigration system is broken. When we have people waiting 17 years to become citizens of this California, of this nation.
Now, keep in mind, she's part of the Congressional Black Caucus out there in California, but it's really interesting. I mean, just keep that in the back of your mind as you listen to her.
It is broken. And in the meantime, if we dare to actually provide our undocumented community members with the same rights and opportunities that they contribute to, so be it. I believe in a California of opportunity. I'm thankful that you brought forward this bill, and I'm thankful that you did so in a way that frames and centers the humanity of our undocumented community members. With that, I respectfully request your...
Okay, so she's going hard on, this AB 1840 bill. They said home purchase assistance program eligibility. All right, so let me pull this up here because many of you probably have already seen this or aware of this. Let me get this up here for you right quick. All right, so California. Let's see here. Sorry, I should have had this up. Let's see, home loans for okay, let me see if I can get this up here. It's coming, y'all. It's coming, y'all. Sorry about this. Of course, it's not coming up. All right, here we go. LA Times. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We'll ride with this one here. Okay, we'll ride with this one. Okay, here we go. This LA Times. California lawmakers approve bill to extend home mortgage aid to undocumented migrants. Okay, and this is just posted on the 29th. Let's read it. It says the California Assembly gave final approval Wednesday to a bill that could help undocumented immigrants in California to buy homes despite opposition from Republicans who said it would encourage more Mexican immigrants to cross the border illegally. Elon Musk went as far as posting his on this social media platform X. Okay, whatever. Assembly Bill 1840, which now goes to Governor Gavin Newsom's desk, would allow undocumented immigrants to apply alongside other qualified applicants for the California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loans program. The program offers no interest loans up to $150,000 to cover down payments and fees. So let me just say this, because I know a lot of our people, of course, we saw this and got immediately angry at this, and rightfully so. But one thing I do want you to understand is this: Black folks, we know about these low or no interest loans. Okay, we know about that, and we know the hook that comes with that. Now, it's because, like I said again, that there's two sides to this. Yes, the state of California is helping these people, giving them all these thousands of dollars of money for down payments and stuff like that so that they can get homes and things like that. And they're doing it on the dime of taxpayers. All of that is 100% true. But what you also have to understand, Black folks, is that we've already been through this. Okay. Some of y'all may have remembered, it's still in existence, NACA, National, whatever it is. It's an organization that was established back some years ago to help facilitate to get more Black people into homes. And so what they did was they actually, and I think Bill Clinton had something to do with this, how far back it goes. And so what they did was they got together with Bank of America and all these other large banks and say, hey, listen, we want you to start flooding the zone with all of these bank loans, or rather these home loans, that is like 0 to low interest rate. Remember that, y'all. We remember this before, right? But then what happened after that? Give it some time, then what happened? All of a sudden, people didn't realize what kind of loans they got, because give it a few years, and all of a sudden that interest rate shot up. All right, they got an adjustable rate loan. And then what happened? When that adjustable rate loan shot up, what happened? The whole market crashed. But there was a small, tiny group of people that actually benefited from that. Well, they're pulling the same thing with these immigrants that they're bringing over. It's still wrong all around, but I'm just saying, you got to make sure you're looking at it from that. That's really not a good deal. You know what I'm saying? It really isn't. And they're setting these people up as well. But it still highlights how these lawmakers are doing everything they can for people who did not enter this country legally. Do you understand? And so anyway, so I think it's worth pointing out again, this woman she's part of the Congressional Black Caucus out there in California, but she's also part of the Latino one as well. So she has a dual loyalty when it comes to this whole issue, but she's not the only one. Let's go on to the other one that I have up here. Let's continue on. Let's see. Let's pull it up here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so let's go to this one here. This is Assemblyman Isaac Bryan. All right. And they say he was captured on a cell phone, willfully, intentionally, and deliberately obstructing Assemblyman Bill Essay Lil. All right, and he's Assemblyman in Corona. And so what happened basically is that, you know, the Democrats in the California Assembly, they basically had a whole bunch of bills that they were trying to rush within a small amount of time. It was some cases where they were given a couple of minutes for bills to be even discussed. And so one of the bills that they basically said, you know what, we're going to crash and burn this one, is the one that was about reparations. And so and guess who led the charge in killing the reparations thing? It was the Congressional Black Caucus. All right, so let me play this video clip for you here. And then, like I said, again, we got some other clips too that we'll play, but let's play this one here.
Preventing me from speaking.
Hold on, I'll go back.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a reparations person.
Well,
But you won't vote for the bill. I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
it up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
There you go. This is now what you guys are saying, Bill Essilil, I hope I'm saying that right. He is a Republican, and he made it very clear for himself. He said, I'm not for reparations, but I do think that it needs to be further discussed. Here we go again with that, right? But these Negroes basically said, no, we don't even want it. We're going to shut it down right now. Okay. So I'm going to go to what this representative out of California, what he had to say on it. Let me scroll up here and see if I can find that one here and bring that clip up. Because he basically called their bluff on this. And they didn't, when they had the opportunity to call this thing out, you know, and to discuss it and to put it on the desk of the governor, they didn't do it. I'm trying to find it right now because let me see. All right, let's see. Here it is. Oh, here we go. Here's another one here. This is right here. Right here. Democrats have limited debate on each bill to 30 seconds. No debate. They also won't recognize Assemblyman, the same guy, Bill Essilil, or Essilil, whatever. And literally, he was on here banging on the desk.
Votes for all tallying votes. Ayes 42, no 7. 216, 2348.
Assembly Bill 2348 by Assemblyman Ramos, enacted the California Emergency Services Act.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today for concurrence of...
So he's literally banging on the desk because he's saying, no, you need to bring this bill up for discussion. And so what the Democrats did was basically they limited any discussion to it down to 30 seconds. These are black folks that did this. All right, let me go on and continue. Let me go on to the next clip that I have here. Let's see here. I'm trying to find what he was saying here, because he actually did a post where he broke it down and talked about exactly what he was doing, what was going on there, and his stance. He was pretty clear about it. Let me go back here. I just best if I just go right to his page here, and then we can start from there. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'll just go here. All right, sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Let me get this here. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So we're going to go to his page here, and then we'll go right here. All right, here we go. All right. All right. So this is the Republican. This is what he's saying. He said, I want to be clear about what happened last night in the California legislature and my views on the issue of reparations. For years, the Democrat Party has been promising to pay direct cash to reparations to Americans who have been harmed by slavery. They convinced voters that they were serious about this proposal and that they would enact a legislation to make it happen. When the time came to pass the bills, they went into hiding and refused to bring the bills to the floor for a vote. There were hundreds of activists in the Capitol being visibly ignored by the Democrats in Sacramento. They weren't even allowed to enter into the public gallery to watch the proceedings. I've never seen that happen. I met with several members of the public there to support the bills. I found them to be sincere, honest, and deeply frustrated Americans. I believe there should be a debate and a recorded vote on the issue. Politicians cannot be allowed to make promises to the people who elect them and then hide like cowards when it's time to go on the record. At minimum, the people were owed a hearing and an opportunity to know where their elected representative stands on the issue. That was his baseline, what he was trying to get at in trying to push this thing. I have always been clear about my views. I have not been supportive of California taxpayers paying for the wrongs of slave states. Perhaps slave states and the Democratic Party who fought for slavery should be financially responsible. However, I do believe we need to have a conversation about making direct investments and important policy changes into communities that have been harmed by past injustices. This is a conversation Republicans are very much opening to having. That Democrats this year have spent billions on handouts to illegal immigrants, including giving them free universal health care and down payment assistance to buy a new home. These are people who broke our laws, who just showed up in our country. If we have billions to give to illegal immigrants, then why don't we have billions to invest in our own American communities? In the coming weeks, I intend to have a meaningful, serious, and productive conversations on this topic. My message to Black Americans is not to blindly support any political party or politician simply because of the letter next to the name. Make them earn your vote. All 80 members of the California Assembly are up for election this November. This is your opportunity to make your voices heard. Okay, so that was his whole thing on there. And he's just being direct. He's being very direct on that. Again, what we're talking about here, I'm not sitting up here telling you got to vote for the Republicans or, this is the guy that you need to support if you're in the state of California. No, not at all. What I am saying is that these Democrats out here who promised, I'm talking about Black Democrats, who promised to champion this issue, they didn't. And let me, I'm just showing you again some more random stuff on here. Here's another video here. Let's watch this.
Yeah, no reparation, no vote. If you don't give us no reparation, you ain't getting no vote. Y'all gave the legal.
All right, so you get the drift on it. These people were hot and rightfully and understandably so. Let me go on and see if I had something else, because another video I had, they were these individuals out here, mad and protesting, and then you had, as they were coming out of the chamber, I'm talking about the Congressional Black Caucus, as they were coming out, one of them, he was up there dancing. I'm trying to see what else I had. Twitter is funny like this. It's like you'll bookmark stuff and then I go back and I can't find it. But anyway, let me see if I can find one other or two other things here. And if I can't find it, I can't find it. Hold on for a second. And then we'll just going to keep it right on moving, y'all. And again, if this is your first time, really appreciate you guys being here. And thank you so much for joining. All right. Really appreciate it. So let me go on and I'm just moving on and seeing if I can find those other clips that I had set aside, but I can't find them all of a sudden. Oh, okay. This is the same guy here that was blocking the view of that assemblyman out of Corona. Okay. In the Republican. This is him. I want you to take a listen to him. Does this individual sound like he's going to be pushing hard for reparations. Take a listen.
We're changing the definition of the fund currently, which uses the word alien. We're okay with leaving a no vote is saying that you are okay with this fund's eligibility staying what it is for qualified aliens. The author is trying to use humanizing language to make sure that when we develop programs that are called a California Dream for All, that they're humanizing and actually include everybody. Not just Mexican immigrants either. Our Cambodian populations, our Korean populations, our Haitian populations, our Nigerian immigrants. In fact, California is the home to the largest immigrant populations from places around the world outside of the home countries. That's what makes California special. It's what makes my home, Los Angeles, very, very special. I was talking to a colleague, I won't say who, and somebody said this has got to be a tough issue for the Black Caucus, for black folks, because when you talk about people who are unhoused, people who don't own homes, in fact, when I look across this floor and I'm seeing people who don't own homes, it's actually just a couple of us. I think about my siblings who are unhoused, and I understand that this should be a wedge issue. But I actually don't believe in a California future that doesn't include everybody. I believe that we can focus on our immigrant populations and take care of our native-born populations here in California. I believe that we can make amends for what we did to our indigenous populations when we committed genocide. I believe that we can pay the reparations and amends that are due to black folks who lived in this state, and I believe that we can build a future that includes all of us.
Okay, so you see where he's going with this, y'all. You see where this is going. You see exactly where this is going. So these are the people, again, that have been charged to push reparations. So again, I said, usually when people talking like this, they got a vested interest in this somehow. They got a vested interest to be very general on this. So it didn't take long, and I'm getting it up on the screen here. So I want to introduce you to his team. This is his team. This is his team, ladies and gentlemen. This is his team, according to on Twitter. He said this is his team right here. All right. So he said, if I got you, I got you. And when it comes to the team, we got us. Now, this is them right here. This is his team. How many black people you see on here? All right. Now, you can hire whoever you want to hire. I don't care. But what I'm saying is, look at his vested interest. All right. So let's move on right here. And then, like I said, I was going to earlier, I was going to share with you my take on my personal take when it comes to reparations. But, and I am going to do that. I just want to get through some of these clips here. Let me see. Here you go. Well, this is his boo. Yeah, she looking a little Mexican-ish there. Okay, so again, look at these people personal vested interest in the topic. This is what you got to look at. This is what you got to look at. All right. Let me see if I had another one here. Yeah, and this is another one here of him with his boo. This is his personal vested interest on this topic. All right. And so let me see what else I had on here. I don't know if I had anything else. Anything else, we'll talk about it some other time here. But I just wanted to give you a very kind of quick overview of what's going on out in the state of California. So basically, just to recap, the state of California, they're in crunch time right now. They're just trying to shut things down. A lot of these legislative bodies, they have this time of the year where they say, okay, we got to get these bills because we're doing we're doing the budget and all of that. Okay, so what bills are going to get it? What bills are going to get axed? And so the Congressional Black Caucus had the opportunity to continue to push this issue forward, and they elected not to do it because they believed, according to them, that they said that that the governor was going to veto it, according to them. And so they put out a whole statement, and for the sake of time, I don't have it. So what I'll do is I'll probably tomorrow, maybe I'll post that with a little bit more information on our community tab here on YouTube so you can see. Okay. So anyway, what's my take on reparations? What I believe? Number one, as I said earlier, I'm a firm believer that yes, absolutely, reparations is certainly something that is owed to Black Americans who can trace their lineage to slavery. Absolutely. I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's difficult. all this, we got to study and we got to do another study, and then we got to study the study that we did last year and all this other nonsense. That ain't, no, you ain't got to do that. It's very easy. If y'all can find money for these Afghanistan people that came over here, and we ain't forget about them. If y'all can find money for the Ukrainians that came over here, if I can go to the grocery store, Acme grocery store, and literally, you know how you scan your card on the little device, the card machine? I'm scanning the device, and on the machine, it says, would you like to donate to the Ukrainians? That's what it said on the machine. And I said, hell no. No, I ain't donating to them. So no, if you can do all of that, you can find money for all these people, you can certainly do that for Black Americans, for sure. But they choose not to. All right. So yes, I absolutely believe, based on history, based on what our contributions to this country, absolutely. Now, this is where people get lost because they think that, oh, you're just basically, crapping on everything you said. No, listen to what I'm saying. Do I believe that in this current system that will happen? Absolutely not. I don't. Because these people have made it very clear, and I don't know how long it's going to take people to understand this, that they are not going to simply give something away. You understand what I'm saying? You're dealing with the United States of freaking America. They don't give things away unless they're trying to take a lot back. Do you understand what I'm saying? This country has a long-standing history of bombing and killing and poisoning people they don't like. So no, they're not going to do it. The United States has like the United States, there's been many other nations and kingdoms that have laid the foundation on how you're supposed to get what you want. And that is through the military. That is through force. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you think for one moment, and someone said this a while back, they said, if you really believe that this country, the most powerful country right now on the earth, is going to give the power of who is in charge to people who are homeless, people that are poor, people that are broke, you think they're going to lay that down and say, well, you know what? We're powerful, but you know what? We're going to give that power to you. And that's called the democracy. No, they're not going to do that. Have y'all seen Biden lately? Now, traditionally, the president is always in the media, always in the news. Everywhere the president goes, you hear about him every day. Biden, I don't know where the heck this man is. Every time I see him, he's at the beach in Delaware somewhere. So who's running the country? Do you understand what I'm saying? So the powers that should not be are the ones that are running this country, and they don't care about you. They're not going to give you anything. The only way they have demonstrated and shown you time and time again, if you want something, you gotta take it. And this whole voting nonsense, it ain't it. It ain't going to do it. It's not. Now, am I telling you to pick up a gun and pick up some grenades and let's head down to DC? Heck no. So the FBI, CIA, Department of Homeland Security, miss me with that nonsense, because I'm not saying that at all. I'm just stating facts. Okay, so that's not how it ain't. It just ain't. You understand what I'm saying? That's not, but that doesn't eliminate the argument. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't eliminate the argument. The argument is still a sound and a very valid one. But if we're going to sit back and think that just by simply voting alone is going to take care of this, it's not. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just simply not. Here's the other thing that I want you to keep in mind about this whole topic is that, okay, let's say today they said, you know what? We want Kamala in office so bad. We want to get her. We're going to tell her that, yeah, we're going to, tell these Negroes they're going to give them some reparations. So they give you, they send you a check. All right, Mackenzie, you in Canada, so you don't count. So by other people down here that's in the chat. So they send you a check, okay, from the United States of America. They gave you a check. You get it in the mail, okay? And what are you going to do? You're going to rush down to the bank, right? and you're going to put it in your account. And then let's say a day or two later, guess what happens? All of a sudden, the stock market crashes. And then all that money, which is all vaporware that they gave you, it's worthless. Okay? Do you see how this thing plays out? Okay? Now, let's say they try to do something like this. They said, you know what? Well, we're going to forget the cash. We ain't going to do that. We're going to give you crypto. We're going to give you cryptocurrency. We got a cryptocurrency, and we're called the Negro. It's the Negro currency. We're going to give you that one. And we're going to fill up. You're going to give you a little card, and we're going to fill it up with $1 million per Negro. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fill it up, and we're going to give it to you. So they give you digital money that they can control. So let's say you got your digital money, right? And you're going to spend it. And you're going to go and spend your digital money, right? You're going to swipe it. But wait a minute. And you're like, okay, I'm going to buy some land. I got some land that I've been looking at, and I'm going to buy some land. So you take your little digital card and you swipe it, and it goes, You're like, wait a minute, why this thing ain't working? Because I got $1 million on here. And it says, I'm sorry. They have set up legislation. You didn't hear about the legislation that went through where that money can only be used for certain things. And you can only spend it in certain geographical areas. This is what's happening now, y'all. This is what I'm trying to help my black people to understand. How this system, how this matrix is, how it works. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that reparations it's not something we deserve. I'm not saying it. We do. But you're in a system that is designed specifically to not see you win. And the only way you do win in this system like this is that you got to have more tanks. You got to have more ships. You got to have more bullets than they do. That's how this system works. Are you following me? Are you tracking with me on this? Do you understand what I'm saying? So even with crypto, that's how they, this is how it works. Even with, well, it doesn't work with that right now, but I'm saying once they fully execute this plan with crypto, I'm not talking some woo-woo stuff. I'm telling you what's happening now. China is already doing with the whole social credit score thing. You can't, they're going to tell you, hey, you can only spend money on this, but not that. What do you think is going to happen when they start bringing that here? So if they try to go to the crypto part in giving reparations, well, that's going to be the same thing. They can control what you can spend on it. So what would be my advice at this point? Because I'm sure that for some of you, you probably feel a little defeated after hearing that. My advice, if anything, if you're going to press for reparations, don't press for a check. Don't press for crypto. Give me some gold bars. Give me some gold bars. Now, for many of you, that seems way far out of the sky, out of the ballpark. It's like you just can't even, you never even thought, that's too high. No, that's the altitude that you need to be flying at if you're serious about this topic. There's a reason why England, there's a reason why the United States, there's a reason why all these countries, at the end of the day, they got whole basements full of gold. Whole basements full of gold. Why is that? Because while people out here are fighting over paper, vaporware money, the value of gold keeps doing what? It goes up, up, and up. If you own gold, guess what happens? Your value is always going to be there. And guess what? You can go anywhere in the world and you'll be able to use it. See, with reparations, they're giving you money, but you think they're giving you freedom. They're not giving you freedom. They're just giving you more ways they can control you. I don't want American money. Do you understand what I'm saying? America does owe, but I don't want American money. I don't want a loan because, like I said, again, the loans is what gets a lot of people in trouble in the first place. No, give me some gold. How about that? Give me some gold bars, a whole lot of gold bars, and then we good. How about that? See, this is the altitude of thinking that people who are pressing this issue, you have to think. But if you think for one moment that any politician is going to have the courage enough to push this thing and to be begging for reparations, you are just delaying the inevitable. These politicians in California, they know this is a joke. They know they're not going to get anywhere with this. They know it. Unfortunately, a lot of our people don't. Again, it doesn't eliminate the fact that this is a legitimate issue. But you're going to have to stop playing imagination house, and you're going to have to start thinking in other higher realistic terms. And it's not easy thinking this way. It's not. But that's it's just the truth at the end of the day. And the irony of all this, when I'm talking about gold, is guess where a lot of that gold came from? Africa. That's a whole nother discussion. You understand what I'm saying? And, and then you got I'm saying gold, but you also got other precious minerals and things like that too, that's out here. So a lot of people ain't going to talk like this when it comes to reparations. I'm all for it. 100%. I say continue to press the issue. But at the same time, listen, you're going to have to be honest about what's at stake. If you think for one moment that your vote, you going down and saying, I'm going to vote for this person and they're going to push it. Whoever you vote, they get in office, they're going to be given the real deal. They're going to say, okay, you want to press reparations? You really trying to be that? You really trying to do that? Okay, sit your behind down, because that ain't happening. I'm just trying to tell you, okay? You may not like the message, but it's still true, y'all. So anyway, listen. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a short break here, very short break. And then when we come back, we're going to get into some other news very quickly. Again, you're listening to the Digital Plantation podcast. I'll see you right after this break, okay?
Hey there, family. Are you ready to shake up your health routine with a twist of fun? Welcome to Samba Tree, where we bring the rhythm of nature right to your doorstep. Dance your way to vitality with our vibrant selection of herbs, herbal powders, extracts, and more. Sip on our soothing teas and embrace the power of sea moss for that extra health boost. But wait, there's more. Have you tried our refreshing soursop drink? It's 100% pure with no additives or preservatives. It's a soursop treat that'll make your taste buds tango. And let's not forget our natural dental and body products. They're free from toxic ingredients, so you can feel good inside and out. Looking for a touch of elegance? Check out our stunning copper jewelry and brand new copper drinking vessels. They're not just beautiful, they're good for your health too. At Samba Tree, we're always adding new products to keep your wellness journey exciting. So what you waiting for? Visit us at sambatree.com today and let the rhythm of health move you. That's sambatree.com. See you there, family. Hey there, family. Are you ready?
All right, we're back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Digital Plantation podcast. So glad that you guys could join us here. You heard that right. Samba Tree. The website is sambatree.com. And tonight is the night. Tonight is the night. This is it. This is where it all ends tonight, y'all. 18% off store wide. The sale ends tonight at midnight. All right. Midnight. So if you want to get your children, get yourself, your body up and running and protect it for this coming season that we're entering into now, make sure you go to sambatree.com. All right. Everything from herbal and natural care, and we even have developed our own food seasonings and stuff like that. So again, the website is sambatree.com. Make sure you use the code BOOSTWELL. All right, it's right there, BOOSTWELL on your screen. it's going to be a wrap. So this is probably one of the biggest sales we have in the year. Again, the website is sambatree.com. All right, let's go back and get into it, y'all, and take a look at what else we got here on the desk, okay? So let's go ahead and see what we got here. All right, Roland Martin. Yeah, I already told y'all, on this here, I have my long history with him, and anyway, we're just going to stick to it. The thing that what I don't like, and I did a video on this, is I don't like, especially now, and I knew, well, first of all, election season always brings out the crazies. I mean, we already know this. But with this particular one, where we got Kamala running, it's brought out all the people who just want to dump on black men for not falling in line. And more every day, I'm seeing more and more black men who are rising up and, and are standing up and saying, hey, listen, nope, she's not for me. I don't want to, if for those that are in the voting, this ain't for me. And see what a lot of these women and men, they don't realize, I would say feminine men, quite honestly, because I'm seeing a lot of that, is that if you want, I'm talking about a real man, okay? If you want a real man to do something, the last thing you should be doing is trying to fuss him into doing something, because a real man is going to turn the other way. Now, my wife, from day one, she knew who she was marrying, and she knew that if she would ask me to do something or whatever, I'll do it. Ain't no issue. If it's something that I was kind of like, I don't know, or whatever, she'll just say it once, and then after that, she'll go and do her thing, and I'll be looking over her shoulder like, maybe I should go and do that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it. But she don't do this whole, like, I got to manipulate you. I got to make you feel bad, because you didn't do what I told you to do. She don't do that kind of stuff. But this is the tactic that you're seeing out here. And I did a whole video on that, talking about that. But anyway, Roland Martin is one of these men out here who've been doing this kind of stuff and sassing men into, you got to vote for Kamala because, it's our history and she's our sister and all that other stuff, right? Well, anyway, he just recently posted this video on his channel where he was commenting on Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, her running mates, this interview that they had, which was, I saw clips of it. It was not good at all. Not good at all. But anyway, Roland Martin, he was commenting on it, and I want to play this clip. Do you see what I see? Anyway, let me play this clip, y'all.
Let me go ahead and play this one for y'all. Check this out.
About your opponent, Donald Trump. I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah. Any same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
That's it.
Opponent, Donald Trump. I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that.
Whoa! Whoa! I ain't playing that again. Y'all ain't trying to get me striked. Okay, you ain't getting YouTube on me on that one. Whoa! What was that? And I checked, y'all. I checked to make sure, and yeah, he clicked on the wrong button. Whoa, my goodness. And for those that are listening to the podcast, yeah, let's just say there were two cheeks you missed. Okay, I'll just say that, and you do the homework and you look up what you missed. Okay, if you dare to do that. And see, people and then, you know, he has some defenders on there. They say, well, you know, it's Twitter, you know, because now if you're watching videos on Twitter on your phone, what will happen is, you know, after you watch the video, it will roll to the next video automatically, right? If you're watching on your phone. What did I just say? If you're watching on your phone, right? But not if you're watching on your computer, it don't do that. I'll sit there and watch a video and it'll play and then it'll play again or whatever. And then it will say, you know, click here to replay it. That's it. But on my computers, it don't do that. Now on my phone, it does. Now, unless he's running his whole studio on a phone, yeah, he has something Twitter told on him. Oh my goodness. I saw that. I said, oh, man, ain't no explaining around that one. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, let's move on here. I thought that was quite something. All right, let's take a trip down to Mississippi and let's talk about this story here. And this is another one I had to do a little bit of digging on because I saw someone else talk about this particular story, but I wanted to make sure I had the facts straight on it because the individual that I was listening to that was talking about this story, there was one little part in there that wasn't actually true. And I ain't going to even mention their name because it's not even that important like that. But the truth is, and that's what we want to make sure that we're talking about here. But anyway, who we're talking about is this individual here. This is down in Jackson, Mississippi. Her name is Angelique Lee. All right. And let's get into the story real quick and talk about, I'm doing okay, I guess, with time here. Let's see. Hear how prosecutors say the bribe went down between Angelique Lee and the undercover FBI. She's a councilwoman, you know, in the Jackson area, Jackson, Mississippi area. And we're going to go through this real quick and tell you exactly what happened. On March the 27th, former Ward 2 Councilwoman Angelique Lee had dinner in Jackson with what she believed to be a real estate developers from Nashville, though they were actually undercover FBI agents. It was at this dinner where Lee accepted $3,000 in a cash bribe for her support of a fictitious downtown development the agents were pitching her. Assistant U.S. Attorney Charles Kirkham read some of the dialogue of the March the 27th dinner last week during Lee's hearing, where she pleaded guilty to a conspiracy to commit bribery charge. Hours before her hearing, Lee resigned from her position on the Jackson City Council. A recording of the full 32-minute August the 14th hearing was released by the U.S. District Attorney on Monday. During the hearing in front of U.S. District, okay, and then they mentioned what happened, right? Okay, so let's get on to it. A portion of the exchange between Lee and the undercover FBI agent at the March 27th dinner, according to the prosecutors, is below. Undercover FBI agent, so take this, that's yours. Thank you. All of that is there, $800 more in there. So that's $3,000. Lee, oh my God. Undercover FBI agent, no, take that. Lee, I don't have to report that. Thank you. I'm not reporting this. Undercover FBI agent, huh? Don't report it. I wouldn't. I mean, it's cash. Why would you report it? Don't report it. Lee, oh my God. The agent then goes on to thank Lee for her support of the fictitious development, to which she responds, you got more votes coming. Next, the agent offers Lee a credit card so that she can go shopping, saying, don't go too crazy, but having a blanking great time. Lee thanks the agent. The next day, March the 28th, Lee went on to spend approximately $6,000 at a luxury clothing store in Jackson using the agent's credit card. Lee, 48, attended the March 27th dinner with the unindicted co-conspirator A, the unknown person who also funneled $10,000 via electronic transfer to pay off a portion of Lee's campaign debt on or about February the 15th, 2024. In July, it was revealed that a portion of Lee's wages as a council member were being garnished to cover nearly $21,000 in campaign expenses from A to Z Printing, A writ of garnishment was issued on October 2023 by ruling from Hinds County Circuit Court. Okay, let's go in here, and I'll tell you if it doesn't get into it. Lee accepted the bribes in exchange for her support of a fictitious downtown development project that the undercover agents were pitching to her. She also agreed to vote in favor of a road closure in furtherance of the same project, court documents show. In total, Lee accepted nearly $20,000 in cash deposits and other gifts during the meeting with the developers in February and March, according to court documents. And so what I'll go on and say is that this project that they were pitching, I believe from what I was reading, it was that it was going to displace people in Jackson, some people in that particular area in her district in Jackson. Okay. So this is why this is very concerning. Now with Lee, if I did a background on her mother is Filipino. Her father is black with the air quotes. It's her great grandfather who's Mexican. Now, I honestly don't think that part has any, it's neither here or there on that part, because someone was reporting that her father was Mexican, and that's not true. It was her great grandfather who's Mexican, and I got the whole backstory on that. But her mother is Asian, who happened to march, who didn't march with Martin Luther King in those days, but she took part in the civil rights thing and all that kind of stuff, right? So she did some things for black folks and all that. But my point is that as a people, I'm talking about black folks, we have to be extra careful now. I don't care if the person identifies or call themselves black and they may be Blasian or they may be half this or that. I'm not saying that they're your enemy. I'm just saying when you're talking business, when it comes to property ownership, when you're talking business, when it comes to reparation, these people that you're seeing right here, like this woman on the screen, you don't want people like this representing you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I ain't got no hatred towards people that are mixed. You're mixed. You had no choice over that. I don't care about that. But what I'm saying is that we have a pattern right now of people that are in these positions that are right now in Washington, in the state of California, and they're saying, black people, they deserve reparations, but so do these immigrants, so do the Nigerians, so do these other people. They all do. See, you want to play the field, and see, black folks ain't trying to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? We say, no, you could take care of the field, but take care of the Negroes that pick the cotton on the field. How about that? You understand what I'm saying? Take care of them. And so we have to be very serious about this topic when we're talking about this. And so the people down in Jackson, this is what they're dealing with. This is what they're facing now. You vote these people in office and you think they're for your best interests, but at the end of the day, they're not. And I say the same thing about black folks. We got straight black folks that are out here that are doing the same stuff. But you got to check the record. One of the things I try to do is anytime I bring up black congressmen, black politicians, I always bring up, I didn't have time today for this broadcast, but I always bring up their association with black Greek letter organizations. I always do that. I don't know any other platform that does it, but we do it. I'm always going to bring up, okay, so Joy Reid, okay, she's a Delta, okay, Roland Martin, okay, he's an Alpha, such and such. This has to be a part of the conversation because I'm trying to get viewers to see that there's a certain narrative here. You understand what I'm saying? You can't leave that out of the discussion. We've done many videos talking about what these people and who these people are really loyal to, and it's not you. They're loyal to their little small group, and they're loyal to the people who put them in charge in the first place. You got to know the history of these organizations. These organizations started because white people would not accept them in their group, and they said, we want to be just like white people, so we're going to start our own stuff. And that's exactly what they're doing. So the next time when you're looking at these different politicians and stuff, and they're out here talking about they pushing for black folks, the first thing you want to know is, okay, what Greek letter organization are they part of? You want to know that. That has to be part of the narrative. All right. So let me look at this last story here, and then we're going to call it a wrap here. Really appreciate y'all doing. Next time I'm gonna have myself a little bit more together. These last couple of weeks have been really something because we're revamping a lot of things here on the platform, doing things a little bit different and all of that. So it's really, it's really something. And it's days giving me somewhat of a headache and all of that, you know, trying to put all this stuff together, but we're getting there. But I'm trying to find this video here. This is a short video clip here, and then kind of going to land this ship on kind of nice here. Let me see. Where was that doggone video? All right, this video right here. Now, for people who are pushing this whole DEI nonsense, all right, and when you say, someone may heard me say, "Oh, DEI, you calling it nonsense? How you calling it nonsense?" See, that's the problem with you. You need to hear it out. DEI. What does DEI stand for? Diversity, equity, and inclusive. Being inclusive. Who are you including? When that word diversity does not automatically mean black folks. Let me say that again. Diversity doesn't automatically, it means everybody but black folks. This is what I want you to understand. So when you see black people pushing diversity and are pro-diversity, they are pushing everybody else but black folks. And that includes LGBT. All right. This is Miss Marilyn, I think. I want you to take a look at this clip right here. Not that one. This right here. Now, this is a whole man here. Okay. So women who are pushing diversity, you're going to be competing against men who look like this. But we don't want to talk about this. We don't want to have these conversations. That's who you're going to be competing against. So when I hear DEI, that's what I see. It's that you got to see this thing all the way out at the end of the day. That you are actually digging your own grave by pushing these policies, because it's with DEI, it's not just people from other lands, but it's also people of their own preferences. In other words, I identify as a man, I identify as a woman, I identify as a black man, I identify as a whatever it is. And now you're going to be on the same footing as all of them. Okay. So this is why it's important for you to really understand these things. Okay. Last story here, and I'll just leave this off with here and I'll let y'all sound off on the comments here. This is a video that someone posted on Twitter, and they said some people had some problems with this one, but I ain't got no problems with this. But I'm gonna post it for you, and I want you to decide, and you can put it in the comments as we kind of wrap this up. This video is only about a minute long. This is a father. We did a video a while back where we talked about black men who are out here, who are getting things done, who are at home, who love their children, who love their wives, who are protectors and doing all the things. And we've actually started a series on that where we want to highlight that stuff, because we're tired. Because in this season, if you haven't noticed by now, we got people of all stripes, including people that look like us, that are going after black men. And this platform is all about supporting our black men. We love our women, we love our sisters, but at the same time, we love our black men too. And we're going to make that loud and proud that we're about that. Okay. We're not going to bash men, even if we have a difference of opinion. That's okay. We can disagree honorably without trashing each other. You understand what I'm saying? And be the men that we have been put on this earth to be. And so this video right here, I want to show y'all real quick. I thought was a good one. This is a father handling business at home. And they said some people, I looked through the comments, some people had some problems with this. What do you think?
Like she crazy, cursing at her, telling her what you won't do. You won't clean your room. You won't do what you want to do. And you talk to your mother like that? Like you tough? Do you think you tough, little man? Talk to me like you talk to your mother. Talk to me. You think you're tough, don't you? Boss up on me. Cuss me out. Tell me you ain't gonna do what I say do. I dare you. I dare you. You ain't gonna do it to me? Why you do it to her? Why you talk to her disrespectfully? Why? Little boy, answer me. Why do you talk to your mother disrespectfully? You don't know why you do it. Today I'm going to help you find out why. And today it ends. Today it ends. Do you understand? You will not call your mother out of her name ever again.
See that? And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part of being a father. That is a part of being a leader in your home, and that's handling business. And he didn't. And see, this is what I tell people all the time. You think that you don't have, listen, I'm okay with, I'm not, some people are very mixed when it comes to, using a belt. I come from my old school. I had the belt. I was fortunately in a home where they didn't abuse me. I make fun of that sometimes. I'm like, man, my dad hit me so bad. It had, however you spell Levi backwards, that's what was printed on my back. Because he had a Levi's belt. He hit me so, and I'd just be messing. That wasn't the case at all. But, but I come from a time and I come from a place where, that was part of it. You going to act up in this house, I'm going to give you something to remind. Now, some people are mixed on that. Everybody respect their own boundaries on that. I'm not here for that. But what I'm saying is, like, what this man did, he didn't have to do that. And this is what I want to leave off with. Black men, listen, a lot of times you don't even have to do that. A lot of our people, we think we got to just ready to, you meet me here. You ain't got to do that. A real man, all you got to do is walk in a situation. And I'm going to tell you right now, things come in order. When they hear you, when they see things come in order, they know, okay, I ain't going to say nothing. I've shared this story many times. I went to a Kroger. I was living in Georgia. I went to a Kroger to get a money order for something. We had to send some money off to someone. And then this woman, she started asking me for my ID and all this other stuff. And it was like a low amount. It was like $100. I was like, why you need all this stuff? Passports, all whatever it was she was asking for. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And so I got what I, got the money order. And I got halfway down the road and I said, no, that's a little extra. And so I went back to Kroger, right? I drove back into Kroger. Now, Kroger, as you know, that's a grocery store. That's a big store. I walked in there. And so I went to the front where the registers were. And I said, and I was very nice. And I said, excuse me, is there a manager that I can speak to? And I kid you not, that whole area where those registers, they went completely silent. And everybody was like they thought it was like something about to go down. And I wasn't even yelling. If you catch me yelling in public, that means something really went off. And I don't do that. I haven't done that in I don't know how long. But I just was very calm. And it was like, oh, okay, we'll get him. We'll get him. I was like, okay. And he got the manager. He's like, hey, sir, how you doing? Or whatever, can I help you? And I explained to him what happened. And I said, and I told him very kindly, I said, listen, I said, that was very wrong, and I went to hear his policy and all that. He explained to me, and he was so apologetic. He was like, I'm sorry, that was wrong. We're going to sit down. I'm going to talk to her, because that was not right what she did. We've had some problems with her before and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. I said, thank you. I said, I really appreciate that. And that's it. Not left it on. What I'm telling you is this, is that real men, we don't have to do all I'm going to say, you ain't got to do all that stuff. No, it starts with being confident in who you are. Being confident in who you are. You go into these spots. If someone wrongs you, if there's a disrespect or there's something that, or whatever, there's an authority that we have built that's built in. You understand what I'm saying? It's built in. And you have to learn how to tap into that so that when you do face these situations, you ain't got to go all like that. You can always tell in many cases, which men were raised by their mothers, because they just be going on and just and like, no. That man, that brother I just saw right there, every bit of that gave me flashbacks of my dad. Because my father, let me tell you something. He, as soon as the door opened, I knew it was a wrap. and he was a whole Pennsylvania steel worker. You hear what I'm saying? And was tired when he came home with the hard hat. Okay, so but anyway, that's it, y'all. That's all I have for y'all, for real. But I want y'all, particularly brothers out there, I want you to keep that in mind. There is an authority that's come with you. Now you just have to learn to balance with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, that doesn't mean you go around and bossing people around, but at the same time, don't let these people punk you down. You understand what I'm saying? And you can make it known without showing off and going all crazy. You know, you ain't got to do all that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's it. So that is all I want to say on that. And that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Digital Plantation Podcast, because the internet at the end of the day is one big digital plantation. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you again soon.